Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at my weekly forecast. This goes from Monday to this Sunday. And we're going to be looking at our temperature anomalies, our precipitation anomalies, and then we're just going to be going over briefly some of the events that are happening this week, such as flooding, severe weather, stuff like that. First, we're going to start with our temperature anomalies. Here on the west coast, anywhere in the west, basically west of the Rockies and then into southern Texas, we have above average temperatures. That lightest shade of yellow, I guess, that is slightly above average. Then that orange is moderately above average, and then that red is well above average. Those are where the red is where you could have temperatures 10 to 20 degrees above average most days. So it's going to be very hot over parts of California, Arizona, New Mexico, Oregon, and Washington. Anywhere east of that, though, we are going to be below average. We're going to see two pockets of moderately below average, one for the northern I-95 corridor, and then one for parts of eastern Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Colorado, Kansas, parts of extreme northern Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, Iowa, and Minnesota. That's where you could see moderately below average temperatures as well. Anywhere in that lighter blue, that's where you could see slightly below average temperatures. In that second shade of blue, you could see 10 to 15 degrees below average, and that's mainly because you're going to be seeing this dip in the jet stream, and it's going to continue to dip every single day, slightly more to the east, so it's going to work its way to the northeast from Montana all the way to the northeast gradually over this week. Here's our precipitation anomaly, so your rainfall basically compared to normal. On the west coast, if you looked at it, I looked at the models, and there's actually no rainfall anywhere in that moderately below average area, which is that darker brown. And then in that slightly below average, you could see maybe half an inch to an inch this week. Anywhere east of the Rockies, you could be seeing slightly to moderately above average. That darker green is going to be moderately above average, so you could see maybe 3, 4, or 5 isolated areas, 6+ inches this week. And then in that slightly above average, that lighter green, you could see maybe 1 to 3 inches potentially. So you'll be just slightly above average. It'll be a little bit wetter than normal. Here we're going to look at the hurricane. We have a hurricane threat for, this is for Monday into Thursday. Now, once you get above North Carolina, that's when that threat kind of, like, you have a lesser threat of that hurricane, because we do have, not necessarily a hurricane, but maybe a tropical storm, tropical depression, some sort of strong system moving up and then probably veering out. Now, this is fairly far out, so we don't know if it's gonna maybe go a little bit more inland, and that's why if it went a little bit more inland, maybe 5% chance that it might affect those areas. Again, if it does affect those areas, maybe just winds sustained 30 miles per hour, maybe some gusts of 40 miles per hour, and then some rainfall with that. If it does move a little bit more inland, this looks to be more like a out to sea type of system, so it's kind of gonna form over here and then move out to sea, so you won't see many impacts, just maybe a little bit more rough waves on the coast. That might be the only impacts. Here from Monday to Friday, we're going to be seeing some stronger and persistent storms, basically some severe weather. And I didn't want to call it severe weather in case there wasn't hail or damaging winds, but you're gonna see definitely some flooding potentials. So that's why I didn't classify it as severe weather, but it definitely could be severe weather. That is for Missouri, parts of Illinois, northern Arkansas, northeast Oklahoma, parts of eastern Kansas and Nebraska, and then we have Iowa, and then the tiniest portion of South Dakota. That's where you could see basically almost every day, so 5 days straight of just constant, very heavy rainfall, and it'll just be a bunch of systems just moving through, and they'll just be bringing very, very wet conditions for those areas. finally, our last little note here, our last special event is the cold shots that I was talking about when we were looking at our temperatures. That dip in the jet stream that's going to be moving to the northeast and then moving out to sea. Those could bring 10 to 20, even isolated spots, 30 or more degrees below average. And actually, Boston earlier this week, later last week, broke their record of, not a record, it was the first time they saw below 70 degrees for a high, since June 22nd. So that was a fun fact to know. And it kind of shows how we've just been really warm, and this is the first time that we've really been getting this cold shot that could bring us below 60 degrees for high. Some areas could have highs of 50 or 40 degrees, probably over parts of northern Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, and parts of northern Minnesota. The front will kind of weaken as it gets closer to the northeast. So once you get closer to the northeast, maybe 5, 10, 15 degrees below average, not 20 or 30 or 40 degrees below average. Anyways, guys, that is going to wrap up our video. If you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps out a lot. We've just been getting a lot of support recently, and I want to thank all you guys who have been supporting me over the past couple of weeks. So anyways, that was me, Eli the Weather Guy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.